spark, and I'm right on the middle mark.
Hello there. I want to start this video by telling my opinion. I was so focused on analyzing that I didn't think of stating my stance on Logan Paul or the video about the Suicide Forest. I don't like nor hate Logan Paul. I don't think I'm better than him, and I don't think he's better than me. I personally think he's not a very smart individual, but that's still something that we have to figure out. I always assume that the person I'm talking about knows something that I don't, and that's always true. I wouldn't do what he did, and I find it an objectively bad thing. With that said, I still don't consider myself morally superior to him. I can judge his actions, and I can understand their meaning and the reasoning behind it, but it's not my responsibility to be the moral judge of his actions, and as far as I know, nobody else is either. The only one who has to deal with these things and these problems, it's him only, his consciousness, and that's it. When this topic comes in mind, I remember the phrase, "The person without the sin throw the first rock," comes from Jesus, even though I'm not a very religious person, but I would like to tell that to everyone who started hating him for his actions. Not even one of them stopped and asked themselves, why? And how did he find himself in this situation? What brought him to such extreme? And this is what I want to do. I want to have a look at his background, how Big Joel did, understand where this came from. But I won't stop to the beginning of his career, but I want to go deeper and more personal. I want to start this with doing something that I enjoy and I do constantly in my daily life. I want to analyze his father face, since I consider him the main cause of Logan's behavior. So let's just jump into it. Considering all I've seen from the brothers, Jake and Logan the same, I had an opinion about the father and how he must have been when they were young. I thought of his presence in their life and that it hasn't been a lot, or at least not enough to not make them become egocentric. After watching a bunch of videos and reading his face, I found myself doubting my initial theory and trying to understand without bias. At the end, I came to the conclusion that my first theory wasn't wrong. I just got the facts wrong. What I mean by that is that I was thinking that their father worked somehow far away from home and they didn't have much opportunity to bond with him and to have the presence of their father around. But now I know how their father is. I can say that yes, he has been absent for them in their childhood, but not physically, but rather emotionally. The first thing that I could see from their father's face is that he's pretending to be stupid, pretending that he doesn't know what's going on, that he figures that out on the way. He wants to be underestimated by everyone, because that way he can look much better when he does something that others didn't expect from him. The second thing that I noticed is his aggression. He has the face of a person who shouted a lot in his life. A strong person, I would say, but not in the way which makes a person virtuous, but rather in the way of a person who doesn't accept the world and tries to change it on how he wants to see it, which might be good or bad. But I think that in this case, the results are pretty obvious. His obsession of control over people brought him to not give enough love and presence to his kids. He has been more like a dominator, a master, than a loving father. This kind of behavior is never good. It forces people to do what you want and not understand what they want. You can tell someone to not do bad things or else they will be punished. But the only thing that they will learn is to avoid the punishment, but they won't know what is the bad thing and that the bad thing is actually bad. You can tell someone to do something good and have good intentions toward that. Tell them to be kind and use specific words so people like you more. But that in their mind translates to say what people want to hear. And it limits freedom of speech, freedom of action, and even freedom of thought. So what to get out of that is a person who doesn't know good from bad. They just look at the audience and they play a role which the majority of people like to see. If the audience changes, they will adapt to that and they will change their behavior in order to please them. If you tell people to do this, otherwise they will be punished, they won't do those things as long as there is punishment. If there's no punishment, then everything goes, and they won't know good from bad. That changes always with the environment that they're in. It depends on who is speaking to them. That way you create narcissistic people who only care about superficial things, because that's what people see first, your appearance, and that way they will attract attention to feed even more their narcissism. Attention seeking is not a bad thing, it's the reason for that attention that you seek that can be bad. If you seek attention to feel better about yourself, then that's not a good thing. It's like a drug and you cannot stop it. You lose yourself because you just keep acting on and on. But if you seek attention because you have something to share with people, something that you want to share because it could make people's lives better, or even sharing knowledge, then that's something good and positive. To summarize everything I said, Jake and Logan, the same, grew up following their father's orders, which gave them no time to realize what is bad and what is good, turning them into crowd pleaser, no matter what the crowd is. In this case, the audience are little children, impressed by every little thing, who worship them. And as long as they have this crowd, they will keep doing everything they can to keep them amused and entertained, even if that means filming a suicide victim, just to cause shock. But don't misunderstand it. Logan is not a psychopath or a sociopath. He is a narcissist, but that's not at the same level of the other two. He feels emotions and he's really hurt from hate. That is because if he hides his problems, they will only become stronger. So if the crowd is not happy with him, his pain will be much stronger than anything else, because that's the only thing they know how to do. But I guess the real point of this video is never judge someone without first understanding where they come from. He did something bad and stupid? Yes, obviously. Is he a garbage human being and disgusting? No. I'm not here to tell everybody to stop judging. You can do whatever you want. But I want people to think before they say things. That's all I have to say. See you next time. Bye.
And the cries from the strangers out at night, they don't keep us up at night. We have the curtains drawn and